July 30th, 2020, Tropical Storm Isaias about to emerge from the Dominican Republic into the Atlantic Ocean. I'm NBC 15 Chief Meteorologist Alan Sealls. Just wanted to walk you through the latest situation. An enhanced satellite and lightning strikes. You can see the tops of big thunderstorms producing lightning both north of the DR, also south of it in the Caribbean. Just a sign that this system is not weakening. It will gradually strengthen as it is the 9th named storm of this Atlantic hurricane season. It's been a busy one so far. Hannah was the only one that has become a hurricane to this point, but Isaias is very likely to become the next hurricane. Part of the reason why, the path that will take it through the Bahamas along mostly the east coast of the United States, water temperatures are above average. That is just one ingredient that goes into a tropical storm or hurricane. As of late afternoon, maximum winds 60 miles an hour, gusting to 70. It's a mass of clouds with a circulation that is moving northwestward at 20, which is a fairly rapid pace for a tropical system. Now, as it slows down, that's going to give it a little more time to strengthen. So forecast computer models, many of them showing that west-northwestward track heading toward the Turks and Caicos, then the Bahamas, then toward the Florida Peninsula before getting caught up in a different steering wind and potentially impacting much of the east coast of the United States. These multiple models don't forecast the wind speed. It just shows you how much agreement or disagreement there is within these models. And when you look at them and you wonder which is the best, the answer is none is the best. That's why we use all of them. From storm to storm, one model could be better, but it's almost like if you have an investment portfolio with multiple stocks in a mutual fund. When one is weak, another one could be strong, so together it gives you a good picture. But trying to take any one of these and say that's the one, it's almost like voting for your favorite football team all the time, hoping they're always going to win. So when you take those models, you take the water temperature, you take wind shear, you take Saharan dust, and the physics and dynamics of the atmosphere, you come up with the forecast cone, and the forecast cone is for the center of the storm. This does show you from the National Hurricane Center, wind speeds projected to 65 miles an hour overnight, going to 70, entering the Turks and Caicos, the southern Bahamas, and then a Category 1 low-end hurricane through the Bahamas, which, as you know, Hurricane Dorian was a big deal there. This does not look like a Dorian right now, but of course that's a worry for anybody. Florida, the forecast right now going into Saturday over the weekend, at least hurricane strength, and that forecast could change as new data comes in. It possibly could move right along the east coast of Florida, and if it were to take central Florida, that would weaken it some. If it stays over the warmer Gulf waters, it would likely maintain strength, potentially brushing the Georgia coast, the coasts of South Carolina and North Carolina, going all the way up to New England. So these tropical storms, they could have wide-ranging impact. I'm going to show you just one computer projection here, one model going to Friday evening at 8 o'clock, showing the circulation moving right through the central Bahamas. At this point, late Friday, South Florida would be watching very carefully. And if it looks like it's going that way, you would expect to be under a watch for a tropical storm, maybe even a hurricane. So one computer projection there. Going from Friday evening to Saturday evening, right now this model, and most models do show it more on the Atlantic side of Florida than on Florida, but that's going to be really close. So you cannot let your guard down for the possibility of a Category 1 hurricane moving along the Florida Peninsula. Right now, the Bahamas pretty certain. Florida is still iffy, but it's going to get close. That means rain. It means storm surge of several feet. When those winds blow the water directly to the coastline and the shoreline, into bays especially, water levels will rise. So storm surge is an issue, rain is an issue, and of course flooding rain possible in the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos. As it approaches Sunday evening into Monday, approaching the Carolinas, it could still be a hurricane. The Outer Banks of North Carolina, typically a target, just like Florida, literally because the land sticks out and the path, a common path of tropical systems. From Monday evening to Tuesday, it could be Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. All of those have to watch this carefully because simply that is so much farther out in time than what we're looking at right now. And when you look at forecasts from the National Hurricane Center, these are average error radii. In other words, the forecast circle one day in advance, you pick a target, but you know it could be off by about 45 miles in any direction. So the diameter 90 miles. Once you get to 3 days out, it's a 120-mile radius, which is a circle of 240 miles. That's why that cone gets bigger. And then 5 days away, for folks in New England, that diameter of error is double that, 450 miles. These sound like big numbers. They are, but they are getting better year by year. And these are just the averages. They aren't specific to any one storm. So for this particular storm, think of it like playing golf. If you play golf, when you tee off and you're 150, 200 yards away from the pin, if you're like me, you're going to miss it. You'll be lucky if you get close to it. Once you get maybe 25, 30 yards out, you might chip, you might get lucky. But once you're right at the flag, at the pin, the odds of getting it correct are a whole lot better. And that's the analogy for forecasting a hurricane. When you're really close, you do a better job. When you're really far away, there is so much variable, so many possibilities. So on the northern Gulf Coast, my area of responsibility, things are pretty quiet. Our forecast from July into August is nice and standard. Highs in the lower 90s, not much rain coverage. Tropical Storm Isaias will pass well to the east of the NBC 15 area. So there's your update. Keep up with your local forecast. Use your apps. Stay aware of what's happening this entire hurricane season. I'm NBC 15 Chief Meteorologist Alan Sealls.